Hi, dear participants. Hello, how are you today? Are you ready to start? Today is our last webinar. Yes, by the way, yes, because in 3 days you're going to have your exam. Yes. Yeah, you will be taking your linear exam and I hope you're almost ready. So today we will talk about some general things a lot. And as usual, if you have any questions, you can leave them in the chat, yes, and then we will check and answer them. So before we start, as usual, I would like to remind you that unfortunately, I will not be here or see you, but anyway, you can type me your questions, answers to the chat. Also, if you have any internet connection problems or whatever, please feel free to come back, yes, to rejoin. We will be here, we will be working, and the same as like from my side, if I have any issues, like if I disappear from the meeting, please wait, I'll be back as soon as possible. So today we're going to review, yes, we're going to revise the reported speech. That is the topic that is on the list of your topics for the senior exam. And also we will look at some common grammar mistakes and some vocabulary mistakes as well. So we will try to correct them and we will try to revise the most important things that were not mentioned in our previous webinars. So let's start. Okay, I hope you can hear me and see, so let's start. So, and let's start with the reported speech, yes? So I will show you the photo of one lady. I hope you know her. So once she said the following: I'm not following any trends now, I just like to be original. In other words, we can say that Kylie Jenner said that she was not following any trends at that time. She just liked to be original. Basically, these two sentences give us the same information, but what's the difference between them? Could you please give me your answers to the chat? What's the difference between sentence 1 and sentence 2? So basically, they give us the same information, but anyway, what's the difference? I'm waiting for your answers to the chat. This is direct, is reported. Okay, more answers. What is number 2? So what difference can you see? 2 and 3. What does it mean, 2 and 3? Okay, so let me continue. So because we have the correct answer in the chat. Tenses, surely tenses are different. What else? Direct speech. That's right. So the first sentence, which is in quotation marks, is the original words that this lady said once, yes? While the second sentence without the quotation marks is the sentence that we retell, we report of what she said once, yes? So sentence number 1 is written in direct speech, while sentence number 2 is the reported speech. Yes, that's right. Now at that time, great. I see some more differences in the chat. Great. So that's why we call it this way. If we have the words, the original words that someone said, we call it direct speech. If we have the sentence that retells or reports what somebody, someone, someday said, it is reported speech. So sentence number 2 is reported speech, and sentence number 1, it is the direct speech. So let's look how we form it. Yes, let me continue and let's look at this example and let's try to think how we form reported speech. So basically, there are 3 steps that we need to take in order to make direct speech into reported speech. And they are as follows. Step number 1 says that we need to get rid of quotation marks and we need to use that. So let's look at our sentence that we had. For example, direct speech. Kylie Jenner said, I'm not following any trends now, I just like to be original. And as you can see, in sentence number 2, we don't have quotation marks, but we have that. Kylie Jenner said that. So that is step number 1. That is the easiest step. Step number 2 says that we need to backshift the verb. How do you understand it? What does it mean to backshift the verb? Backshift. What is that? What does it mean to backshift the verb? To the past time, maybe to the past time. 1 tense to the past. 1 step back, I would say, yes? So to backshift means that we need to change the verb tenses to 1 step back. So we need, for example, if we have present, we need to put it into the past. Let's look at this sentence. So in sentence number 1, we have, I'm not following. What tense is that? That is present continuous. If we take 1 step back, it would become was not following, which is past continuous. So this action means back shifting. So we need to take 1 step back in terms of verb tenses and change the tense into the past. For example, not following becomes was not following. And we also have like, which is also present simple. We change it into past simple, liked. Yes, so I see you can see it from the example. Then step number 3, it says change the point of view words. What are these words in sentence number 1? What are these words, point of view words in sentence number 1? What are they? And now, great, what else? Now, okay, now I agree. Some other. I, that's right. So in sentence number 1, actually they are highlighted, yes? We have point of view words, let's say markers, yes, time markers and some other markers like I, that is pronoun, and now, yes, time marker. So we need to change them. For example, I becomes she and now becomes at that time. So these are 3 basic steps that we need to take in order to make direct reported speech. Okay, so let's do it together. You can do it together with me, or you can simply follow me. So let's look at these direct speech sentences and let's try to make up reported speech sentences. So present simple is very simple. Yes, we just need to take 1 step back. If we talk about present, 1 step back would be past simple. So we would have she said she enjoyed shopping. So in the original sentence, in the direct speech, we have I enjoy shopping. In the reported speech, we would have she said she enjoyed shopping. Great. Okay, if we have present continuous and if we take 1 step back, it will be what? We have present continuous, we simply change it into the past. So it will be past continuous. I am still wearing a smile becomes she was still wearing a smile. Great. If we have present perfect simple, it will be what? If we have present perfect simple, would become past perfect simple. For example, I have finished my essay, Tom said he had finished his essay. Very simple. If we have present perfect continuous, we also know this tense, and it's also very important. We have I have been working all day, he told us. becomes past perfect continuous. He told us he had been working all day. So with present tenses, it's very clear, yes? If we need to take one step back, we just go to the past tenses, yes? But what if we have already past simple? For example, Robbie went to the mall, Pam said. So what if in direct speech, we already have past simple? What would it be? How can we make one step back? That's right, for this we have past perfect simple. For example, Pam said Robbie had gone to the mall. Great. And what if we have past continuous? How can we take one step back for past continuous? Past continuous will become what? Will become past perfect continuous. For example, I was having a bath then, Sally said. Sally said she had been having a bath then. So that is how we can make these tenses in reported speech. Great. But that's easy. What about future? What do you think about future? How can we take a one step back in the future? That's right. We have would. So, for example, we'll meet you in the bank, Mom told us. So for this, we have would plus bare infinitive. So we simply change will into would. For example, Mom told me they would meet me in the bank. Great. And the same for future continuous. We just change will into would, and we have would plus be plus verb with ing ending. For example, Jan will be arriving at 10, he said. He said that Jan would be arriving at 10. Great. I see that you know it. What about modals? What if we need to make a reported speech sentence with modals? What do we have for that case? We have can go, must see, have to go, may not find. So these are present forms of modals. Yes, let me say so. So if we have present forms of modals, then we can make them simply past modals. Yes. So and then we would have, for example, you can go to the party would become could go to the party. Mom told me I could go to the party. You must see a doctor becomes Tom told me I had to see a doctor, because we know that the past form of must is had to. And the same for have to, yes? The past form of have to is had to. For example, I have to go to the dentist, she said. She said she had to go to the dentist. And the past form of may, that is simply might. For example, we may not find the answer, Carl said. Carl said that we might not find the answer. Great. So just one step back for the present tense. If you have past tense, you change it into past perfect. If you have future, you simply use would. And if you have modals, you use the past form of modals. Any questions here? I had to. I see the question that would be had to. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, then let's look here. Turn this into reported speech. We had already left, she said. We had already left, she said. Can we change it? Any more answers? She said that. No, we don't change it. She said that they had already left. So actually, if you have past perfect tense or and you need to make it into reported speech, then you do not make any changes. For example, we had already left, she said. She said that they had already left. I'd been saving for a long time, which is past perfect continuous, stays the same. He said that he had been saving for a long time. And also, of course, if you have could, should, would, and might, and ought to, we don't change them. And also we don't change must for assumptions. I guess you remember that we can use must for assumptions. That's when we use them to express our thoughts, yes? We don't change it. So for example, if you have, you must be really tired, mom said that I must be really tired. So in this case, we don't change must. Okay, let's go next. Let's go to some practice. So look at these sentences and let's try to make them into reported speech. Let me give you 1 minute to look through the sentences. You can look through them and then I will check your chat. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, you can type me. The same had to, what about should? So look, had, like if you have past perfect, it stays the same. If you have could, should, ought to, might, they stay also unchanged. So you do not change them because they don't have like any past form. So they stay the same. So let's go to this one. So we have Rachel said, I have lost my phone. So in the direct speech, we have I have lost my phone, which is present perfect. How can we make it in the reported speech? Rachel said, that she had lost her phone because Rachel is a girl. Yes, great. Okay, let's go to number 2. Natalie said, we are going to get married in July. Let's say we're going to get married in July, That's right. So we have are going to, which is like the present form. Yes, we know that to be going to in present, we change into past, which becomes we're going to get married in July. Great. Number 3, you have to work out regularly, the doctor told me. The doctor told me I had to work out regularly. So we change have to into the past and then we'll have had to. Great. Let's go to number 4. Jada told me I will come to visit you as much as I can. I will come. So if we have future, we can change it with the help of what? Would. So Jada told me she would come to visit me as much as she could. Pay attention that in the original sentence, in the direct speech, we have as much as I can. So we also need to change this tense into past. Yes, as much as I could. Great. Let's go to number 5. You can't touch the painting because it's priceless. Mr. Stevens told the kids. So Mr. Stevens told the kids. Mr. Stevens told the kids they couldn't touch the painting because it was, yes, it was priceless. Don't forget to change all forms in the sentence. And the last one, Anthony said, I won the match because I trained hard. So it's already in the past. So how can we make one step back? By using past perfect, that's right. Anthony said that he had won the match because he had trained hard. That's right. Let me check your chat. Had won because he had worked hard. I see that. Okay, let me come back to the previous slide. To this slide, yes, because basically the language of our webinar is English, but anyway, in order to make a reported speech sentence, in order to make reported speech, you need to take 3 steps. That is very easy. First of all, the simplest, you need to get rid of quotation marks. I hope you see quotation marks are лапки, if we talk in Ukrainian. So first you need to get rid of them and use that. For example, in sentence number 1, we have quotation mark. In second sentence, in reported speech, we have that. Kylie Jenner said that. So we don't use comma, we don't use quotation marks, we put that. I hope you can see that. Then, when you're ready with this step, you need to backshift the verb. It means to take 1 step back. For example, if we talk about the timeline, and here is present, if you take 1 step back, it would be past. So if you have present tense, you should simply put it into the past. For example, I am not following, which is present continuous, you need to put into the past continuous, was not following. That is step number 2. And step number 3, you need to change this point of view words. So any markers that like you have in a sentence. For example, I. So if you have an original sentence, you say, I'm not following any trends because you're talking about yourself. But if you retell the sentence, if you retell to somebody else, you are not talking about you, yes? You cannot say I because it's not about you. You need to change it into she, yes? So she was not following, not I'm not following, but she was not following. And also if you have time markers, you also need to change them because at that time it was now, but if we are reporting this sentence at another time, of course you need to change it. Yes, you need to change now into at that time. Okay, let me know if it is clear. Any other questions? I see there were a lot of questions, but if I haven't answered, put me your question again. If we talk about past perfect, I saw the question, yes, then we don't change it. If you have past perfect in the original sentence, in the direct speech, you should use the same, yes? You should use past perfect again, because we cannot backshift anymore, yes? Past perfect is the last tense, let's say, in the past. Any other questions? Put me no, if no. Can we move forward? No, 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 no. Okay, let's go next. Let's look at these sentences and let's mark them either correct or not correct. So we have 4 sentences. Please put me to the chat what sentences are correct. So sentence number, so we have the original sentence. I hope you can see it. John says, I'll be late. So I'll be late, that is direct speech because we have quotation marks, yes? So that is direct speech. And then we have 4 sentences. Sentence number 1, John said me that he would be late. 2, John told that he would be late. 3, John said that he would be late. And 4, John told me that he was going to be late. So which sentences are correct? Let me wait for others. Number 3 is correct. Yes, you see, I see 3. Okay, so number 1 is not correct. Number 2 is not correct. Number 3 is correct. And number 4 is also correct. Why? Because be attentive with the verbs to tell and to say. So they have the same meaning, but they are followed by different structures. If we talk about tell, we need to use the object after tell. So we tell somebody something. So we need the object. But if we talk about say, we cannot use the object. We should say something to somebody or say that. So try to remember that we say something to somebody and we tell somebody something. That is important. So say is never followed by an object, by a person, yes? But tell is always followed by an object. Be attentive with that. So let's go next. this was the question, I guess, yes, about time markers, about point of view words. Yes, that's how they are called in English. So let's look at these sentences, and there is a mistake in each of these sentences. So let's try to find them. Just simply write me number 1 and the mistake. And if you can correct that mistake, that would be great. So number 1, Emily said their teacher would go to Leipzig tomorrow. Number 2, Robert told me that his father had flown to Dallas last year. And number 3, Andrew remarked that they hadn't eaten fish 2 days ago. So I say the correct answer is for number 1. So I will show it to you. Of course, not tomorrow. Yes, we are not talking about tomorrow. In the original sentence, that is tomorrow. But if we report this sentence, of course, it will be the next day, or I also see the following day. About number 2, in the original sentence, we had last year. In the reported speech, we would have what? The previous year. Great. And the last one, in the original sentence, we had 2 days ago, but in the reported speech, we would have let me check your chat. What about number 3? So original, we didn't eat fish 2 days ago, and reported, Andrew remarked they hadn't eaten fish. The change is only with ago, so we just need to change ago. Yes, 2 days. Think about the context. 2 days before. That's right. I say the correct answer. 2 days before. So if you report something at a different time, of course, you need to make some changes, but not only to time. You need to make changes to place and also to adjectives and pronouns. Pronouns are am, I, you, he, she. Yes, we talked about that. And possessive adjectives are my, her, their, his. Yeah, so let's look at them and let's revise them briefly. So if you can pronounce the correct answer for the reported speech, that would be great, or just follow me. So in indirect speech, we have now. In the reported speech, we would have then. If we have today, tonight, then in the reported speech, we would have that day or that night. So we know that tonight, yes, means today at night. So it will be that night. If we have yesterday, what is yesterday? Yesterday is just the day that was before, yes? So we can say the day before or the previous day. Great. Tomorrow. What is tomorrow if we think about its meaning? That is the next day or the following day. Last week would become the previous week or the week before. Next week would become the following week or the next week, yes? That is easy. And ago, if you have ago in direct speech, you just change it to before. That is actually the easiest change, I would say, yes? If you have 3 years ago, in direct speech, you only change 3 years before. But, for example, you can also talk about some determiners. For example, in the direct speech, you can have this cup of tea, yes? So in the reported speech, you need to change this into that, and these for plural into those. Yeah, so these are some other markers. And of course, if you have place, you are talking about here in the direct speech, in the original sentence. In reported speech, you would have there. That's right. I see. Let me check your chat. All correct answers in the chat. So you can check also with the chat. And of course, if you have pronouns or possessive adjectives, I have mentioned them before. So of course, you should make changes according to the context. Yes. If you are reporting what's a girl said, yes, then of course you should use she. If you are reporting what a boy said, then you need to use he or his or him according to the context. So be attentive with that, especially if you need to choose the correct answer with these adjectives or pronouns. Read the sentence, think what is like what they mean, who they are talking about, and then choose the correct variant. Okay, and the last about the reported speech, of course, reported questions. We only discussed with you reported statements, affirmative statements, стверджувальні речення. But what if you have to report a question? So let's look at these sentences and let's try to make them in the reported speech. So we have, yes, do you like my new t-shirt? And sometime later, she asked me, gap t-shirt. I said yes, but it was horrible. So how can we report a question? What can be there in this gap? She asked me. That's right. If I liked her or whether I liked her. So if we talk about reported questions, there are more changes that you need to make. First of all, you should change the tense. That is the same as for affirmative sentences. Then step number 2 would be to change the word order, порядок слів в реченні. So we don't use the question form, but we need to make it into the statement form. We will look at the examples, but just mind that. And the most common reporting verbs for reporting questions are asked or wanted to know. For example, if you report a sentence, an affirmative sentence, you can use say or tell. But if you report a question, you can use asked or wanted to know. So basically, there are 2 types of questions that maybe you will need to report, yes? So these are special questions and general questions. So special questions are questions with a question word. Okay, what question words do you know? Any question words that you know? Give me any question words. We use question words in special questions. That's right. What, who, where, why, how much, how many. So if we use these question words, then we use them for special questions. And we have general questions without a question word. These are yes or no questions. So these are questions that require answers yes or no. So let's look at them, how we can report them. If we have a special question with a question word, we need to put a question word, then the subject, and then the verb. But remember, we need also to backshift the verb. So we need to make the same changes as for statements, but we also need to change the word order. So let's look at the sentence number 1. Where did you buy the shirt? My friend asked. And let's try to make all changes. So first of all, we need to change the tense. Where did you buy the shirt? What tense is that? Where did you buy? So what tense is that? Did you buy? Past simple. Okay. If we have past simple in the direct speech, what is one step back? What is reported speech? If we have past simple, it will be past perfect. That's right. So did you buy? Yes, in past perfect, in a statement would be you had bought. Yes. Then we need to change the word order. So we start the sentence, my friend asked. Then we need to put the question word, where. Then we need to put the subject and the verb. My friend asked me where I had bought that shirt. My friend wanted to know where don't skip the subject. You see, question word, then subject. Where I had bought that shirt. So all changes, but one more change with the word order. Yes, you need to change the question into the statement. Where did you buy becomes where I had bought. Okay, let's go next. If we have a question without a question word, for these cases, we have this if or whether. For example, чи. Мене спитали чи. Yeah? So that is чи, it's if or whether. For example, has Mike graduated yet? She asked. First, think about the back shifting. Take one step back. Has Mike graduated yet? That is present perfect, right? So you need to take one step back, and that would be past perfect. Yes, and then you need to make up a sentence in with the correct word order. So she asked me if whether, then subject. Don't skip the subject. She asked me if or whether Mike had graduated yet. So we've done all changes with you, yes? Okay, and the next one. Did you finish the report? My boss asked. Let me give you a chance to write this sentence to the chat. So take all 4 stages. My boss asked, and then continue. I will wait for your answers. Did you finish the report? That is past simple. So in reported speech, you would use past perfect. He asked if I had finished. Okay, let me give you more time. If I had finished, great. Any other attempts? So past simple becomes past perfect. So not have finished, but past perfect is had finished. Yes? Let me show you the correct answer. So my boss, one moment. My boss asked or wanted to know if I had finished the report. Great. Yes, all 4 stages. Great, let's practice a bit. I will give you some time to look through the sentences, yes? These are all questions. So let's try to report them. Let me give you some time. So sentence number 1. Where do you come from? Where do you come from, Alice? Asked Adam. That is a special question because we have a question word, where. So remember to take all 4 steps. Adam asked, where Alice? Don't forget about back shifting. 4 steps. That, back shifting, point of view words, and if we talk about questions, change the word order. Let me give you Adam asked. Do you come from? That is present simple, yes? So if we take one step back, it would be past simple. Okay. Where? Alice. So he was addressing to Alice, yes? Where do you come from, Alice? So he asked Alice, not me, yes? So Adam asked Alice, not me, yes? He asked Alice because we have comma Alice. It means I'm addressing Alice, yes? I want to ask her. That's right. Very good. So Adam asked Alice. One moment. Adam asked Alice where she, and then we have present simple in the direct speech. So we need to take one step back. If we have present, we simply make it past, yes? Where she came from. That's right. That's right. It's the correct answer. Great, great. Okay, let's go to number 2. Have you ever met Paul? Let me say, she asked me, have you ever met Paul? That is a general question. So we need if or whether. She asked me. If we don't have a question for it, then we put if. She wanted to know, or she asked me, where, whether, if I had ever met Paul. So however met, that is present perfect. We need to put it into past perfect. That's right. She asked me, or she wanted to know, or she asked. So all variants are possible. Great, let's go next. Can I borrow your bike, David? So asked Frank. So Frank asked David, not me. So Frank asked David. Then we don't have any question words, and we simply put if or whether. So Frank asked David if, whether, any, or if or whether. They are the same. Let me check the chat here. Ask David. Yes, that's right. If he could borrow his bike. Great. Let's go next. How much did the cinema tickets cost? Helen wondered. That's right. Number 3 is correct. Let's go to number 4. How much did the cinema tickets cost? So we have the question word, which is how much. So Helen wondered. Then we put a question word, how much. In the original sentence, we have did cost, which is past simple. So we talk about past simple. We need to take one step back, and it would be what? And it would be past perfect, yes? So Helen wondered how much, that's right, the cinema tickets, and then past perfect, had cost. Great. Okay, number 5. What is the weather like today? What is the weather like today? So we have the question word, what? Let's start it with one. She asked me, or she wanted to know, and then continue. What is the weather like today? What? Because we have, and then we change the word order. So we don't make it as a question, yes, but we make it as a sentence. For example, the weather is hot today, yeah? So then we put the weather. He inquired, or he wanted to know what the weather was like that day. Great, so all 4 steps. Or the following day. Not today. Following day is not possible. Following day, that's for tomorrow. That day. Okay, let's go to number 6. Why were you absent last week, Betty? Asked the teacher. So the teacher asked Betty. Then we have the question word, which is why. The teacher asked Betty, why? In the original sentence, we have past simple. So in the reported speech, we would need past perfect, yes? The teacher asked Betty why she had been absent the week before. She had been absent the week before. So we take all four steps. Great. Number 7, are you going to work tomorrow? She asked. So tomorrow, are you going to work tomorrow? No question word. So we need to use if or whether. So she asked me. If we don't have a question word, then we put if or whether. And then we put am going to into the past. I was going to work the next day. Okay, and let me give you some time to do the last one. Number 8. Who did you invite to your party? My brother asked. So my brother asked me, and then I will give you some time to think. Take all 4 steps. Okay, let me check your chat. My brother asks me who I had invited. Okay, I will wait for more answers. So in the original, we have past simple. So in the reported, we would have past perfect, yes? My brother asked me who. Do you want to see the answer? So let me show you the answer. So my brother asked me who I had or I'd invited to my party. Yes? Okay. Great. Okay, so let's go next. So for your exam, yes, what might you need? Yes, of course, if you are given the options, yes, in the use of English task, look at the sentence. Maybe the sentence is in the reported speech. And then you remember that if you have the reported speech, you need to mind the tenses and the word order, yes, especially with the questions. So please just be attentive. Great. Let's sum up. Yes, with the reported speech, and let's go further. Let's find and correct the mistakes very fast. So number one, I told that I would meet them outside. Where is the mistake? I told that I would meet. After would, we usually use infinitive. Yes, the mistake is with told. Remember, tell somebody. So after the word tell, you would usually have the object, yes, tell somebody. I told them, for example, or I told my friends that I would meet them outside. Great, let's go to number two. Danny said that he will meet me later that evening, but he never came. Where is the mistake? Yes, by the way, I see the good variant. In number one, we could use said instead of told. Number two, Danny said that he would meet me later that evening. Great. Number three, she asked me where did I put her coat and bag. Okay, let me check your other chat. She asked me where. The problem here is not only with the tenses, but also with the word order, yes? She asked me where I put her coat or where I had put her coat, yes, but never did. So, because remember, in reported questions, we don't use the question form. We use the form of an affirmative sentence. Great, number four. He told me he was busy today. Where is the mistake? He told me he was busy today. That's right, that day. Great, and number five, she said that Paris was the capital of France. We haven't discussed it, but anyway. She said that Paris was the capital of France. Any other guesses? Is, that's right. Guys, if you're talking about some general facts that continue to be true, like the Paris is the capital of France, I am not sure it will change any day, but anyway, that is a general fact. So in this case, it's not necessary to backshift the verb. So you can skip this step if you're talking about some general facts. It's some facts that all people know. Yes, for example, like Paris is the capital of France. So there is no need in step two, in step about backshifting the verb. Great. So let's move forward. I hope everything is clear with the reported speech. Okay, let's relax a little bit, yes? And let's talk about your exam that you're going to take very soon. So let's recollect some basic information, some basic strategies and recommendations. And let's try to choose either true or false. So let's mark the statements about your ZNO, true or false. Let's go to number one. And if you have some questions about the test, about the exam, give me your questions to the chat. So let's go to number 1. Listening section lasts 45 minutes, after which students won't be given any time to put their answers on the answer sheet. So there are even 2 mistakes in this sentence, yes, in this statement. Surely it's false. Remember that you will have 30 minutes for the listening part, yes, but the most important here is that you will be given, you will have some time to put your answers to the answer sheet. So after 30 minutes, when the listening part is over, it's a good idea to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. So that is a good strategy. Actually, I really recommend you to transfer answers to the answer sheet after each section. For example, when you're ready with the listening part, transfer your answers to the answer sheet. When you're ready with the reading part, check yourself and transfer your answers to the answer sheet. When you're ready with the use of English part, check yourself, double check if you need, and then transfer your answers to the chat. Because then, when you will be writing your letter, you will be in a hurry because you will have to come back and work with the same answers and put them again to the answer sheet. So if you like this strategy, it's a good strategy to use after each section, to waste some time, not to waste, yes, but to waste some time and to work with the answer sheet. Because when you come to your letter, you will already have 3 parts on the answer sheet, and then it means that you will have more time for your letter, for your writing. Okay, let's go to number 2. All recordings are played twice and include some time for preparation. If we talk about the listening section, all recordings are played twice and include some time for preparation. Yes, that's right. So use this time for preparation. You will have up to 20 seconds before each recording. So read the question, highlight the keywords, and stay focused. Great. Number 3, don't waste your time. And as soon as you hear the correct answer in the listening, yes, put it onto the answer sheet. What do you think about number 3? No, never. That's right, never. Because remember, the authors of the Zenio tests, they like to put the answer in the recordings, yes, at the very, very end. So your answer, your correct answer might be the very last sentence of the recording. So listen till the end, yes. So sometimes the last sentence can give you the correct answer. So stay focused till the end of each recording. Great. Number 4, listening always comes first, and other sections of the exam, reading, use of English, and writing can be completed in any order. So listening is number 1, and that is always true. What about other sections? Can you complete them in any order that you like? So can you start, for example, with use of English part? Have you ever thought about that or not? Or what teachers told you? What do you think about number 4? Just give me your thoughts and we will discuss. Would you like, for example, after the listening, to do the writing part? Yes, that is true. Actually, it is allowed. So, of course, when you come to your exam, listening will be first. That is always true, and that is something that you will do for sure. But all other sections, you can do them in any order. But the order they suggest, reading, use of English, and writing, is the most successful, yes, and it's most logical. Because first of all, reading is the biggest section, and it will take you the most time. So it will take you up to 45 minutes, and then that is when you need your focus. That is when you need your efforts. Yes, so reading is the biggest, is the most time-consuming part. So it's a good idea to do it first after the listening, because if you start with use of English, you can get stuck on some difficult question about grammar, and then you will waste a lot of time. So that is not a good strategy. But also what you can do during your exam, when you're ready with the listening, you can look through the paper, like through this testing notebook, and you can check the topic of your writing. So not start writing, but just check the topic of your writing. What do you think? How can it help you? So when you're ready with the listening part, just look at the topic of the writing. What do you think? Can it help you somehow? Would you like to do it or not? I see maybe you have never thought about that. So some students and some teachers recommend to do that because, yes, more time to think about what to write. That is correct. So because when you start the reading part, then use of English part, and then finally in the end, when you come to the writing and you see some shocking topic, I would say, yes, something very surprising in your writing, of course, it will be a bit of shock for you, yes? So maybe if it doesn't distract you, yes, if you know that it won't distract you, you can check the topic of your writing before starting reading and use of English. And maybe it will help you like to think about some words or phrases that you will be using in your writing. Sometimes it may help you, but it's up to you if it doesn't distract you. Okay, let's go to number 5. Students mustn't take notes in the testing notebook. Testing notebook, that is робочий зошит. Students mustn't take notes. False. Any other answers? Let me check another chat. False, of course, false. That is a good idea to do that, especially underline the correct answers, yes? Underline the correct answers, for example, in the reading section when you have long texts, yes? So you can underline, and while checking, you come back exactly to those sentences, those like answers in the text, and double check yourself, not to reread the whole text again and again while checking, yes? So it will help you a lot while checking, and it might also help you with the listening, yes? For example, you can cross the wrong answers, like while listening, yes? If you're not sure about the correct answers, you can start with like crossing the wrong answers. So do it especially for the reading. Okay, let's go to number 6. There is only one type of task in the use of English section, and there may be 2 correct options. Use of English part. False, surely false. Of course, there is one type of task. You just need to choose the correct option and fill in the gap. But in all tasks, you can choose only one correct option. Yes, only one. Okay, words before and after gaps in the use of English tasks help make a decision. That is true. You have to write your letter onto the answer sheet from the very beginning. And do you think about this recommendation? You have to write your letter onto the answer sheet from the beginning. Surely not, yes? Of course, you should start with writing a draft, чернетка, yes? So you have a sheet of paper where you can write a draft, when you can proofread your letter, and only after that you have to transfer it to the answer sheet. It's not a good idea to write from the very beginning to write on the answer sheet. Yes, it's not a good idea. Okay, number 9. For the writing part, a student can get up to 14 points, but if a student gets 0 points for either vocabulary or grammar criterion, then the whole paper is assessed as 0. What about this? If you get 0 for vocabulary or for grammar, so the whole paper is assessed as 0. And that is true. Yes, that is true. Actually, so that is the recommendation to proofread your letters, yes? Before you put it onto the answer sheet, proofread it for vocabulary and grammar mistakes, for spelling and grammar mistakes. Because if you get 0 for either vocabulary or grammar, then you will get 0 for the whole letter, even if you write a good content. Okay, let's go to the last one. Students mustn't write any names in their letters. Mustn't write, so it's forbidden. Any letters. Any letters. Maybe you are allowed to write some letters. Should you like sign your letter as best regards your pen friend? Or is it better to write best regards Martin? Which one would be better? Surely you are not like allowed to put your own name or surname or your address or your phone number. It's forbidden, but it's a good idea to write any name, like a random name. For example, best regards, comma, Martin, or best regards, comma, Emmy, or whatever. Think about any name that you like and use it into in your letter. Should we leave some gaps at the text like absatz? Yeah, like not space. I would not say space, but you should divide it into paragraphs. Of course, you should divide. So you should have the introduction paragraph. You should have main body paragraph 1, main body paragraph 2, main body paragraph 3. The closing remarks should be in a separate paragraph, and then like ending, yes, like best regards or best wishes, Emmy, Martin, or whatever. So choose any American name or any English name or any name that you like and write it like at the very end, but don't put your own address or your own name. Okay, so any questions here? I guess you know the structure of the exam very good, very well, sorry. Okay, so let's talk about some grammar mistakes that you should avoid. You mean the gap at the very beginning? Yes, you can do it, but like it's not required. You can start from the very, very beginning of the line. So it's like, it's not in the requirement. It's not in the requirement. The requirement is that you do not go like from the borders. So you will have the borders. So you're not allowed to write something like out of this frame, let's say, yes? But you can start from the very beginning of the line. It's up to you. Previous slide. This one. Okay. So if ready, then let's go to some common grammar mistakes. I guess that is very interesting, yes? So what mistakes you can simply avoid? And that is very simple to avoid them. Yes, so first of all, mind the articles. So that is task number 1, mind the articles. For example, these 2 sentences, we live in village, she is fastest runner. Yes, there are no articles, so please make sure that you use them. You know how to use them, so please don't skip them, especially in the writing section. Then mind subject-verb agreement. For example, if you have the long sentences, check whether the verb agrees with the subject. For example, in sentence number 3, what is the mistake? And in sentence number 5, there is the same mistake. So what are these mistakes? Read the sentences and I will wait more. Neither Adna neighbors nor her husband agree with her decision. Is it okay or is there a mistake? I will give you more time to think. Okay, any other guesses? Does the verb of the sentence agrees with the subject? For example, in number 1, the characters in Shakespeare's Twelfth Night lives in a world that has been turned upside down. So you see that the verb lives does not agree with the subject, because the subject is plural, the characters. So we cannot say lives, we should say live. And what about number 2? Neither Edna's neighbors nor her husband agree with her decision. The same, yes? We have a singular noun here, that is her husband. So we should put agrees, not agree. Yeah, so pay attention, especially while writing your letter. Yes, make sure that your subject agrees with the verb. Yes, so remember, neither nor, then we should look at the second subject. In this case, that is her husband. So it should be agrees, not agree. Okay, of course, pay attention to the verb tenses. Yes, for example, in this case. And pay attention whether the sentence is active or passive. Yes, we talked about that, but anyway, remember, for example, in this sentence, sentence number 1, the British astronomer Fred Hoyle gap to have remarked, space isn't remote at all. Is it passive or active? Is it passive or active? Does Fred Hoyle report about himself or somebody else maybe does it? Of course, it's passive. So pay attention, it should be passive and it should be present, because we have present tense. To have remarked and isn't remote. Yes, so make sure that you pay attention to this active and passive voice. Of course, be attentive with infinitive and gerund structures. For example, he spends much time playing computer games. Yes, so I don't know, but this is a very often mistake. Yes, and I'd better go and get. Remember that I'd better, I'd rather is followed, or I'd better or I'd rather is followed by bare infinitive without to. I'd better go and get. And of course, pay attention to derivatives. For example, let's look at this sentence from the mock ZNO test, which was like, I don't know, like 1 month ago. There was a sentence like this. The statue's nickname Oscar has conflicting gap stories, but the most popular narrative credits Margaret and so on. What variant would you choose? Maybe you have already done this test. We have originator, originally, originate, and origin. So originator, that is a person, yes, that is a noun. Originally, that is an adverb, yes. Originate, that is a verb, and origin, that's again a noun. Of course, we cannot put here originally or originate like an adverb or a verb, because like it doesn't suit the grammar in this sentence. Yes, so you can already cross the 2 variants here. Yes, I show the previous rule about infinitives. Okay, I will show it. But here we have 2 nouns, originator and origin. Yes, so and we know that originator, that is a person, so it doesn't suit the context, the meaning of the sentence. So the only possible variant, that is origin stories, and that is a compound noun. Yes, origin story, that is a story about how something was started or whatever. Great, origin. The previous, yes. So had better and had rather are followed by bare infinitives without to. I'd better go and get. Okay, I hope you've seen it. Okay, and let's go to some other mistakes. Be attentive with the possessives. Possessive case, yes, with this apostrophe and s. Do you find this topic difficult? I know that authors of the NOAA test, they like this topic. Yes, so remember, yes, what is the most important here? If you have a plural noun that ends in s, like for example, students is plural, yes? Students, many students. And you have already this s, like as plural. So you need to add apostrophe after this s. You don't need to add one more s, yes? You already have this s. So just put apostrophe after s. But if you have, you know that in English there are a lot of irregular plural nouns. Yes, for example, here I have children, men. What other irregular plural nouns do you know? There are a lot of them in English that don't end in s. Ts, yes, geese, women, mice. Great. So if you have these irregular plurals, you need to add apostrophe and s, the same as with singular nouns. Yes? People, for example. Great. So I see that you know them. And also, there are two more cases that might be tricky. When you have one thing that belongs to two people, for example, Paul and Catherine's house. So Paul and Catherine have got one house. So they have one house. And this house belongs to them both. So we need to put apostrophe s after the second name. For example, Paul and Catherine's house. Or it might be Catherine and Paul's house, because they have one house. Yeah, they don't have two houses. But if you have two and more people and all of them, like each person has got one thing, you add s after each. For example, Anna's and George's cars. So Anna has got a car and George has got a car. So they have two cars, yes? So Anna's and George's car. But I would say that more often you would see, if you see this topic in your test, that would be mainly about these plural forms like regular and irregular. So please keep that in mind. Also keep in mind that when you have to talk about things, not people or pets like animals, then we use possessive of, not apostrophe s. For example, the end of the street, a picture of the eclipse. So you cannot use possessive s in this case because you are talking about things. Okay, great. Let's go to the next topic. Any questions here? Just try to remember this one. Also, be attentive with the pronouns. Yes, pronouns also might be tricky, but pay attention to this. One moment, I will show you to the full screen. Pay attention to this table and pay attention that we have subject pronouns, object pronouns, possessive pronouns, and reflexive pronouns. And I have highlighted for you and have highlighted the possessive adjectives for you. Why? Because only possessive adjectives are followed by nouns, because they are adjectives. They are used to describe nouns. They could not be used on their own. Yes, they should be followed by nouns. But all pronouns, like subject, object, possessive, and reflexive, they cannot be followed by nouns. Yes, so it might help you during the exam to make the correct decision. For example, let's do this task very fast. Manchester is famous for gap football teams. Manchester, that is the team. Not the team, but the city, sorry. So Manchester is famous for, let me give you more chances. So the city equals it, yes? So if we need to use possessive adjective, that is its football teams without any apostrophes, yes? Its football teams. Okay, Mrs. Robinson claims the money is all gap. So we don't have any noun there, yes? So it should be possessive pronoun, not possessive adjective. So possessive adjective would be her. But if we talk about pronouns, her should be followed by a noun. So we need a pronoun here, not an adjective. It would be hers. That's right. So her money, because like this adjective is hers without any like noun afterwards. Okay, number 3. Some students left gap books at home on Monday. We have books, nouns, yes? So we need to put adjective here. Their, that's right, their books at home on Monday. Number 4, neither Pedro nor William can remember gap password. Grammatically, we should talk about the last subject, which is William, yes? So grammatically, it should be his. But his is not completely correct if we talk about the context of this sentence, yes? So it is allowed to use their in such examples, yes? So remember that their equals his or her. So If you have this in your options, then choose there. Okay, Helen found her passport, but we couldn't find our passwords. But we don't have passports, then we need to use what? But we couldn't find our passports. But if there is no noun, passport, then ours. Great. Robert has a lot of books, but he read none of, I guess that's easy, none of books, none of them. And the last one. I think these magazines are, gap, I left, gap, on the table. I leave. These magazines are, these are my magazines. These mine. Yes, I think magazines are mine, these magazines. I left them on the table. Okay, let me come back to the slide. So remember that possessive adjectives should be followed by a noun. All other pronouns that you can see on the slide are not followed by a noun, yes, because they are pronouns. They are not followed by nouns. Okay, also be attentive with such words as such and so. Yes, for example, they usually, if you have options, they usually go together because they are very confusing. Okay, so for example, let's look at number one. I love watching Mr. Bean. He is so or such funny. So, of course, so, because we use so plus adjective. So funny, so plus adjective. Number two, that is so or such a cute dog. Such a cute dog, because we use such plus adjective and noun, yes? So if you use such, it should be always followed by a noun. So there should always be a noun if you have such. Okay, number three, we have so or such nice weather on holiday. So we have weather, which is a noun. So if we have a noun, then can we use so? No, we cannot. We can only use such. Such nice weather. And number four, he plays the piano so well or such nice. Do we have a noun here? Well, well is an adverb, yes? So we don't have a noun, so we need so well. But be attentive here. If you have such and then you have a singular countable noun, don't forget about this a, yes? Such a pretty dress. Yes, after such you need to put an article, a pretty dress. Such a cute dog. Yeah, so if you have a singular countable noun, remember that, because like these intensifiers are very, like, students like to use them because they are very easy. So be attentive to the order and don't forget about articles. Okay, that was a recommendation again about articles. So don't forget about articles. Let's go next. In some, one moment, let me show you this way. In some tasks, you would see such adjectives. Yes, that is mistake number 4. So this is a sentence, by the way, again, from previous tasks. Yes, I don't know from what year, but anyway. So let's look at this sentence and let's look at the options that you have. So we have involves detailed recall of 25,000 streets and locations within a gap radius of London's Charing Cross railway station. So we have radius, that is a noun, and we need to put an adjective. Yes? У нас є іменник, нам потрібно поставити прикметник перед радіусом. So we need to describe a radius. So that is a compound adjective with numbers. So which variant is correct? So we have 6 miles, another like apostrophe there, and 6 miles without any apostrophes. Okay, try to guess. What would you put if you had this task in your exam? Try to check yourself. Try to guess if you don't know the rule. Okay, let me show you the correct answer. And the rule is very, very easy. Actually, that is A, 6 mile. Because if you have a compound adjective, which is formed with a number like 6 and with a noun like mile, the noun should be singular. So without any s or without any apostrophes. For example, yes, a building with 6 floors, would become a 6-floor building. So we have 6, we have hyphen, this, and we have noun without any s or without any apostrophe, a 6-floor building. Okay, number 2 is for you. A note of 50 euros. What would it be? Number 2 is for you. I will give you some time to think. A note of 50 euros. So we need to create an adjective, a compound adjective that consists of a number and a noun. So we need to take number, we need to take the noun, yes, 50 euro, and then note. But we need to put, remember that the noun that is in the adjective, yes, should be singular. So we have euros, then if it is a part of an adjective, it would be singular without s. So euros is plural. In order to make an adjective, we need to use this noun in singular without s. Let me give you more time to think. Without any apostrophes or without any s. And the hyphen should be between the number and the noun. The hyphen is inside this newly created adjective. Let me give you more time. That will be a 50 euro note. So we have number 50, we have noun in singular euro, a hyphen, the fizz between them, and note. Okay, let's do one more. Let's do one more for you. A drive that lasts 20 minutes. Let me translate. Тобто дорога, яка займає 20 хвилин. 20-хвилинна дорога, скажімо так. In Ukrainian it sounds awkward, but anyway. 20-хвилинна дорога. Дорога drive. Let me give you more time to think. Any other attempts? Maybe somebody else wants to try. A 20-minute drive. That's right. Okay, one more. Закріпимо. A walk that takes 5 minutes. So we have a walk that takes 5 minutes. 5-хвилинна прогулянка. Let me translate it so. That's right. Oh, I see you understood it. A 5-minute walk. Great. The flight that lasts 10 hours would be a 10-hour flight. A delay of 2 hours would be a 2-hour delay. Great. A spreadsheet with 25 columns. Great. All answers are correct. Would be a 25-column spreadsheet. Yes. Sounds very long, but that is the way you can say, yes. A 25-column spreadsheet. A teenager who is 15 years old. Let me give you this one for you. A teenager who is 15 years old. So we have 15 years, we have old, and we have teenager. 15-річний підліток. Let me give you the another. That's right. I see correct answer, so let me show you. A 15-year-old teenager. So all words that are in the adjective should be hyphened, the fizz. Yes, don't forget about hyphen. Great. 15-year-old, a 15-year-old teenager. Great. And actually the last mistake that we usually make are prepositions. How do you feel about prepositions? In all exams, I would say in all the NO tests, there are prepositions. Every year they are different, but anyway, how do you feel about prepositions? That is the last mistake that we are going to talk about. prepositions might be tricky, yes, but you can know them. Yes, especially if you know some phrasal verbs, yes, that contain prepositions. That would be easy. Yes, if you know it, then you will choose the correct one. If not, then of course it might be difficult. Let's talk about the most difficult prepositions. Yes, I chose only 6 of them because we don't have much time. So let's go to number 1. In the night and at night. What's the difference between these two cases? Yes, for example, A, she had to get up in the night or at the night because the baby was hungry, and the small cafe is very busy all the time, even in the night or at night. A is what? So in A and B, prepositions are different because the meaning is different. In A, it would be what? In the night or at the night? Can we say at the night? We cannot. We usually say in the night and at night, but there is difference, yes? In the night means a separate night. So you're talking about only one specific night. When you use at night, it means like every night, at any night, like it doesn't matter. Yes, at night means like вночі. In the night means about some particular night. Okay, let's go to number 2. My old camera kept going wrong, so in the end or at the end, I bought a new one. And B, the hockey players shook hands in or at the end of the match. In the end and at the end, also quite confusing, yes? Let me give you more chances to answer. Okay, no other attempt, and let me show you. So in the night has a specific meaning, yes? In the night, in the end means finally. So finally, I bought a new one. While at the end means at the end of some period, of some event, at the end of something. So if you have at the end, it means at the end of something. In the end means finally. You can even use it in your writing. Okay, let's go next. Sorry. Arrive. Yes, my sister will be arriving in or at London, and they haven't arrived at or in the hotel. Arrive. Yes, we know there is a difference. So if we say in, we mean city, country, or time. Thank you. So we arrive in a city, in a country, in a time, but we arrive at a building, at an event, or at any other places. So if you have city, country, then you use in. If you have buildings, hotel, like whatever, yes, you use at. Great. In time and on time. Do you remember the difference? A, Japanese trains are famous for arriving in time or on time, and I hope to get home in time or on time to watch the film tonight. What's the difference? We can use both, but the meaning is different. On, in. Let me give you an answer. Aha, great. Correct answers. On, in. Yes, so on time means punctual according to the schedule. In time means soon enough. So you have some time before something, soon enough. Great. A few men were standing at or on the corner or in the corner, and there was a small rock at on or in the corner. I don't know why, but this corner, I don't know, this corner is very often used. Someone is standing in the corner or at the corner. We can also say on the corner. We're talking about a street. Should we use in or on the corner? At the corner. Not so many answers. Okay. If you talk about like streets, roads, streets, avenues, of course you can use at or on. Yes. But if you talk about some enclosed spaces like room, or I don't know, the box, the cage, the tent, yes, what else we have? Building, yes? If you have some enclosed space, закрыто, yes? So then, of course, you should use in the corner of the room, in the corner of the bedroom, whatever. And the last one, very easy, I guess the easiest one, but anyway, let's revise it. Last month, I saw an awful film in the cinema or at the cinema, and I enjoyed the film, but it was very good in the cinema or at the cinema. That's right. At the cinema in the second example, that is in. So we use at when we talk about an event, yes? Or for example, the theater might be at the party, whatever. And if we talk about, if we use in, we mean inside the building, yes? In the cinema means inside the cinema. In the, I don't know, theater, okay, any other examples? So we talk about inside the theater, yes? Okay, try to remember them. So any questions here or not? No? Okay, then let's go to our final slide. One moment, I will show it to you. Yes, no questions, great. So some final recommendations for you. Yes, you have 3 days before your exam. So what you should do? Of course, recommendation number 1 is to take a real test and to check your pace. So it would be great if you can do it, yes? So create the atmosphere of a real test, set the timing, I mean, use any online timer or whatever you have, and try to do the test from the beginning to the end, yes? And check your pace. Pace means how fast you can do each section of the test. So check how much time you need to do, for example, the reading tasks, how much time you need to do the use of English task. It's better to check it before the exam. But of course, do this test without any gadgets, without any notebook or whatever, without any like aids, any helpers. So try to check your pace, and then during the exam, you will be able to distribute, yes, to divide your time logically. For example, you will know exactly how much time you need to write a letter because it's up to you. Yes, they recommend to have up to 35 minutes, but maybe it takes you more time. Yes, so you need to check it now. Of course, you need to focus on something that you need. For example, if you see that you make the most mistakes in the use of English section, then you need to work with it. But actually, I'm not sure that it's possible to revise all grammar and vocabulary like within the 3 days. It's better to focus on something more real, like the reading or the writing. If we talk about listening skills, of course, it's not possible to improve listening skills so fast, yes? So it's better to work on strategies, yes? To check yourself what strategies work for you, yes? And then train them. Decide for yourself, yes? What strategy you will be using during the exam. And also, you can train the writing part. If you have a teacher who can check it, it will be great. So she will point to your some weak sides, yes, to something maybe that you skip in your writing. So please, if you have such a teacher, then you can ask her or him to check your writing. And of course, have a good rest. Don't panic. Everything will be all right. So do you have any questions? Maybe you have any questions about some specific parts, so we can try to answer them. No questions. Okay, then I wish you good luck. Yes, thank you. So the main is to keep calm and to stay focused from the very beginning. Remember that listening comes first, and that is the time that you need to be focused. Then thank you a lot for your participation, for your questions, for your answers. Wish you good luck and have a good rest. Have a good weekend. Goodbye.